will give them even more confidence. It did through the very impressive James McDonald.
Yeah, just look at the pace of this, almost meandering around. And again, the conventional wisdom, you don't have to be running 9 out of 10. And the change of pace here from McDonald, in the end, just accelerates on the ball. It just catches the defence out. But it's about that movement, and I think John, again, Wilkin mentioned, we used the word meandering, but there's some great movement, good skill, and then bang, he's onto the ball, and it just catches Huddersfield out on the edge.
You won't fall over with shock if I tell you that wasn't converted. It was a theme tonight. Then some great defence by the Leeds Rhinos, Chantel.
Yeah, they managed to keep McGarvey out, and then they pushed through Cam Smith, and then Harry Newman.
What a break.
Great break. But look at the push around him, the offload. Just that inside push. Yeah, Hanley gets tackled here, but then they get back on the front foot, pass it out wide. Blake spots all this space, and boom, they're in the corner with Reece Martin.
They are 12-13 at this stage. Blake Austin finding Reece Martin out on the wing, and Reece Martin, well, he had enough of the goal kicking, and he handed it over to Aidan Caesar at that stage, and Aidan Caesar missed. Not from one from him.
So giving it back.
Yeah.
Psychology again.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's look then at the try that won the game ultimately for the Leeds Rhinos. They're a point down at this stage. And Cameron Smith, now there was a theme to this because they were struggling all night, Huddersfield Giants, dealing with kicks. Cameron Smith capitalised.
And Richard Myler is a competitor, isn't he? Puts himself in the frame, causes a bit of disruption, and you've got to get numbers around the ball. And Cam Smith, we talked about some of the tackles that he does, the workload, the work ethic, but it's these moments that you get down, score the tries that win you the games.
Now, if we have another look at this one, bearing in mind what we saw last night in the south of France, if we freeze it on the boot from Aidan Caesar, and try and decipher whether or not Cameron Smith, who was to his right about 10 metres and ultimately scores the try, is onside or offside. He's certainly within 10 when the ball comes down.
Yeah, I think Cam Smith's onside there.
OK, you don't have a problem with it?
Nope.
OK, Chantel?
It's a tough call, but I'd say he's onside.
OK. It mattered not then that he was within 10, and he certainly cleaned up a mistake from Tui Lolohea at the end. All right. 18-13 at that stage. Let's talk about the frantic end we had. We're going to start with a Chris McQueen try, but there's so much to pick apart after that, and so much uncharacteristic play from Huddersfield. First, a compliment to the try.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and this is what Jake Connor does really well, just puts it on his twinkle toes, dabs it through, and we haven't seen Chris McQueen do this before, have we? It's a carbon copy of what he scored week after week. He's just exceptional at turning up in those right moments and reading Jake Connor's kicks.
You could throw this over if you were a goal kicker of his ability. It seems to be a goal kick. It seems to be an afterthought in rugby league. Explain this. Nenny McDonald couldn't understand it, and I'm sure the Huddersfield Giants players couldn't.
Yeah, well, this is what Jake Connor does. That's why we call him Maverick. We can't read him, predict him, and look, Tui Lolohea here tries to nip it, and we're having nervous palpitations about there being golden point again, but he didn't quite get it, and that meant Ian Watson disappointed.
It appeared though that Tui Lolohea there was no set-up play for that. There was no intention to set up and put yourself in a position to go and kick a drop goal and try and tie the game. It was just a off-the-cuff thought at the end of a game when you're chasing it.
I think he was just I don't actually know what he was doing. To do a drop goal in the first half and then just spoon it out of play there, I think it was just a blow of thought. I don't know what happened.
But if he nails it, and it wasn't a million miles off,
I understand that, but there was Jake Connor kicking that ball out, not setting up for a drop goal to when you possibly could have got yourself in a better position to tie the game. It's not what they're about. It's not what you usually expect from them.
Not the typical leadership style of rugby league that you get from Huddersfield. Yeah, I totally get that, but it was entertaining. It was a great contest, and it brings a brilliant curtain down on what's been an outstanding Rivals weekend. OK, let's hear what Ian Watson had to say after that defeat for the Huddersfield Giants. Here he is with Jenna.
Ian Watson, how do you wrap your head around that one?
It's a tough loss. It was a tough game, to be fair, as well. Either side could have gone on to kind of win it, but obviously Leeds got the spoils on there. I thought it was a real good game, though, a real tough one.
Incredible start by your players. Can you talk us through that, and then I suppose what happened after the break?
I think the resilience we showed on goal line just before half-time took a hell of a lot of energy out of us, and then second half, and we kind of broke them. We come up here and got the drop goal on there, and we should have been really kind of energised by that. But I think it took a hell of a lot out of us. Second half, they probably started the better team, and we started to will a little bit. They started to get a little bit more success down our left side, and obviously they posted the points on the back of some kicks.
Does it almost leave you with more questions than answers?
No, we know when we need to fix up. We spoke before this game about last tackle plays and making sure that we need to be better defensively. We've conceded again on last tackle plays again, which have been our Achilles heel this year. So we just need to be tidy up on them and be a little bit better. The effort and the attitude from the boys to defend has been outstanding.
It's 3 wins from your opening 7 games. Where would you say your team are at? Has the start of the season gone to plan?
I know where we are, and we were pretty comfortable where we are. We knew we was going to have to build this year. We've got some new players coming back late kind of from the World Cup as well. So I'm really comfortable after the performances. You look at the Wigan, the St Helens game, this game here where we've lost by 1 point, we've lost by 2 points on them. I'm really confident in what we do. We're building as a team. Everyone's playing full-strength teams at the moment. We're way off full strength at the moment, and we need to get a settled spine out there. When we get a full-strength team out there, we're going to be really dangerous.
Yeah, a number of new faces. They need to take time to click as well. Thank you so much for your time, Ian.
No problem. Cheers.
Yeah, it's an interesting point about a settled spine. I mean, he may know what his preferred spine is. Jamie Jones, would you hazard a guess?
Well, Theo Farge is a settling implement, isn't he, within the group?
As is Ollie Russell.
Ollie Russell as well. As I said before, too much of a good thing. Sometimes you just got to pick somebody and stick with it and give it time. Sometimes it takes 5 or 6 weeks for a spine to come together.
Probably by default, we've seen him now with Tui Lolohea, Jay Connor and Will Price in starting positions in a game. Is that not the way forward for Huddersfield?
Yes, potentially. I think you've got to give it time. You can't just judge it on one performance. You know, we've seen likes at Wigan, it doesn't matter what spine they seem to pull out, they go out there and they perform exceptionally well, put teams to the sword, and I'm almost rethinking about what a spine looks like. It's looking more like a rib cage. There's more constituent parts to it now, and you know, every team's got their identity, and that's Ian Watson's and Huddersfield's.
They do have a game up their belts, so the game in hand, and that's going to come against the champion St Helens. So just 7 played, 4 wins for the Huddersfield Giants and 3 losses. I got that right. No, sorry, 3 losses and 4 wins for the Huddersfield Giants so far. He seems to be pretty comfortable though with where they're at.
Yeah, Ian Watson's a great coach, and Huddersfield's season has been really good. So it'll be interesting to see the next game, see what they come up with.
Yeah, okay, and see if there's a bounce back and any sort of improvement from that. Well, it has been a very, very special weekend of Rugby League here on Sky Sports, and Leeds have brought the curtain down with that very special win here in front of a buoyant and raucous South Stand. I think we can hear from one of the stars of that Leeds Rhinos performance, Cameron Smith, with Jenna just a few minutes ago.
Cameron Smith, that was quite the way to wrap up the Easter weekend.
Yeah, wow, what a game. I've watched every game this weekend too, and I'm really excited to finish on good terms today. So, yeah, what a game.
Just a word on the atmosphere as well. I mean, it was so loud. What's it like playing in front of such a big crowd here at Headingley?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, you never get used to it, especially coming out in the second half when we've gone in behind, and we speak about as a team that the fans are going to, you know, bring us home. So credit to them. They never stop singing, do they? And, you know, it does us well on the field. Just
on that second half, it almost felt like a brand new team came out. What changed after the break?
Just a little talk from Rowe and a couple of things to fix up with the ball in hand. We spoke about our start all week, and you know, we didn't start great, but you know, just having that attitude that we can bounce back from a little bit of adversity on our goal line. So that was it. Just tidy a couple of things up and, you know, come out firing.
The start seems to have been a bit of a hindrance this season for Leeds. What do you think's not working?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, Jenna. You know, a couple of things didn't go our way early doors. We spoke about bringing some intensity with RD, which I thought we found in the second half. But like you say, it's another focus on to next week now and fix that start up.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because you got the result anyway. Cam Smith, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, assistant coach Chev Walker was desperate not to talk about poor starts and not make it a thing. Cameron Smith, you know, laughing at it there, but he will be determined as anybody else to fix that up. Just a nod to his performance.
Oh, he's a real pro. He talked about watching all the games this weekend. He'll have watched every NRL game on the offer as well. He's a real steward of rugby league. He's probably been down to Cas Panthers and Loch Lane. He loves his rugby, and he's very reflective of his own performance, critical and astute about what he's going to do next. And he's always aiming to improve, be a better version of himself.
Final word from you, Chantel, on this game, Leeds win over Huddersfield. In summation, You know an awful lot more about Leeds, or you're more confused than ever?
No, because Leeds always seem to pull it out the bag. And just the defence work from a half-back like Cam Smith. When you get people on your squad, you know, wanting to work for each other and giving their all, you come out with a win. So, you know, hopefully they can keep growing within the season.
Well done to the Leeds Rhinos. That brings down the curtain on Rivals Round 2023. We're going to go around and get some thoughts from all our pundits and experts here on what stood out for them over the last 4 days, I should say, in 6 games. JJB, we'll start with you.
Yeah, mine was easy, mate. I think what I hold the highest virtue is that selfless effort, and Josh Horrocks, some of the try savers against St Helens, putting himself in the right positions to save games. We always talk about Bevan French and Jay Field and Marshall scoring into the air, but look at this, just getting down and denying Morgan Knowles on that try, a really pivotal moment of the game. And listen, whether this should have been a try or not, I don't know, but being in the right position to make that interception and turn it round, for me, I just think that was an outstanding piece of effort from that player.
And that's from a player that was over on loan at Leeds just a couple of weeks ago, so well done to Josh Horrocks and to the Wigan Warriors. Saints no doubt will be back. Shani, what's today?
Probably the Hull KR and Hull FC derby. What a derby that always is.
You're wearing your black and white, so tell you what, you're brave. How good were they, Hull KR?
Hull KR were phenomenal. Ryan Hall on that edge, he was just outstanding. The push in that try from Mikey Lewis.
Mikey Lewis. Yeah, what about the celebration here? This is a very special shot here.
Look at that little lad.
Oh, look at the lad behind him.
That's what it's about, Brian.
But look at the guy behind, the little lad behind him. He's not happy, is he?
Absolutely brilliant. Ryan Hall became the first Hull KR player to score a hat-trick over on the west side of the city against Hull FC since 1969. Quite the record. And Ryan Hall is turning back the clock. Let's get to John Wilkin, still in commentary position, high up here at Headingley. John, your moment of this memorable Easter weekend.
I mean, there's been so many, hasn't there? I think it's just been an exceptional weekend all round. But for me, I thought the Salford League game really delivered. We were hoping for some momentum off the back of St Helens and Wigan and how intense that was. Well, Salford and Lee really delivered. Lee didn't get the win, but put on a show again. And how good's Josh Charnley going on the wing for them? Fantastic. Absolute nimble footwork and an exceptional finish from Josh Charnley against Salford. So yeah, I think we've had some magic moments. A lot of really special players, a lot of special teams, some great performances and some great attendances, Brian. Delighted to be involved.
And it's not just Ryan Hall who's turning back the clock. Josh Charnley, they're both breathing down the neck of the great Danny Maguire and his all-time Super League scoring record. Let's wrap it up then by going to Jenna Brooks. Where are you? Yeah, you're over there, Jenna.
I'm still here, still standing
just about. What stood out for you, Jenna?
Listen, I love a good atmosphere. I'm always mentioning the atmosphere. I'm the lucky one that gets to be on the touchline, soaking it all up. The atmosphere pretty much across the 4 days for me has been amazing, but the standout was at the DW Stadium. Wigan against St Helens, incredible game, incredible supporters from both sides. Almost 25,000 were there at the DW Stadium. They were so loud, couldn't hear myself think. I've got baby brain. It's hard enough for me at the minute, Brian. But yeah, I have to say, highlight for me, the atmosphere across all 4 days, but the highlight, DW Stadium.